a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
In front of us, where the Rosetta Stone had been, stood a smoking, sheared-off pedestal. The floor was blackened in a starburst pattern, except for the glowing blue circle around our father. He was facing our direction, but he didn't seem to be looking at us. A bloody cut ran across his scalp. He gripped the boomerang tightly. I didn't understand what he was looking at. Then, the horrible laughter echoed around the room again, and I realized it was coming from right in front of me. Something stood between our father and us. At first, I could barely make it out, just a flicker of heat. But as I concentrated, it took on a vague form, the fiery outline of a man.
Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
Hey, I'm Raye, following the path of Gab.
And I'm Charlie, following the path of Bast. What's up? We certainly got an explosion, I think.
Oh yeah, that setup, that paid off. I'm mostly just proud of us for remembering the intro.
I have the notes in front of me.
I don't, so I remembered the intro. I know I'm on a path and not in a cabin.
Someday we'll explain what that means, but not today.
Not today. Not today, Satan.
Not today. Nope, I can't even make that joke because we don't know his name yet.
You're gonna die this chapter. It's all foreshadowing. Yeah. When are we gonna do a book series about Christian mythology? Rick,
just cover the Bible.
Yeah. Rick, make everyone mad. You should write a new series that makes everyone really angry at you.
That's what Erica and Carter on Seaweed Brain have been joking about for who knows how long. They're just like,
oh, yeah,
when's the series where like the Egyptians, the Norse, the Greeks, and the Romans like all get together and they fight Jesus? Like, where's that?
We're waiting.
Come on, Rick, where's your series about like the rapture happening? Like in real time?
Oh, you couldn't do it. It'd be too fucked. Like,
I mean, there's other problems about that. I've literally looked into what the fuck happens in, like, the Christian apocalypse, and I'm like, this is just, like, there are no actual things that happen. I know there's, like, things about, like, birds crowing or something. I don't know. There's a lot of weird shit. But, like, there's no events that really happen in the text itself.
Well, I mean, Good Omens is a successful,
True.
Christian doomsday story.
True,
that, like,
and I'm just like,
you
took, like, the minuscule amount of stuff that was there and turned it into a show. And I'm so glad you did it.
Actually, Good Omens is what it would be like if Rick Riordan tried to write, like, modernizing these ideas, like the Four Horsemen and their little motorcycles. Like, that's exactly what the thing is.
I was gonna say,
that's
like,
how Rick would have done it if he was
that's
gonna
how
have to
I would do it, personally.
Anyways, glad that we figured that out. Somebody already did it, so Rick doesn't have to.
Fun stuff. Tell us about this chapter, because apparently this, just like, we really get into it, and I think this is just what Rick does with his, like, chapter 2s. This is his thing. Like, we have one chapter of, like, this is who the character is, this is how it's gonna work, and then chapter 2 is, like, inciting incident. Fuck you!
My man is making an action hook. You know, he's like, here's what you can expect.
I was gonna say, this ain't Lord of the Rings.
Some real bullshit. Yeah.
We're not gonna wait,
like, you gotta keep the kids engaged.
50 years or so to actually leave the fucking Shire. We're getting right to it.
Okay, so.
An explosion for Christmas. Did we get an explosion for Christmas?
I mean, it's still Christmas Eve, so inaccuracy point.
So what you're saying is almost Christmas means it wasn't
Christmas. God damn it. Yeah, yes.
For the Ace
The
Attorney.
explosion is like that Christmas Eve evening present that you open. Like, did you ever do that where you get one to tide you over?
That's a thing that I've always heard people do. I was never cool enough to have that, so...
See, what our parents would use it for is, like, if there's something that they want you to have on Christmas morning, like a new shirt that's, like, a special outfit you can wear to church on Christmas Day. Like, that kind of thing was what it would normally be.
And, like, I understand that, but I'm also just, like, I feel like that only works for, like, pajamas that you're gonna wear that night. Because, like,
I mean, that too.
you can open up the thing you're gonna wear that day, because...
Well, Christmas morning service might be, like, really early, so we would go before gifts.
That's
Yeah, so
we're
then
not
it
church
makes some
people.
sense.
We went to like the Christmas Eve one if we went because there was
Because
like,
it's cool.
Yeah,
They
we
got
also went to the
candles
children's
and songs.
mass. They did like things with the candy canes and it was cute. Did you know the candy cane is actually all about Jesus? Let me
Wait, what?
let me tell you the propaganda here on this podcast. So the white on the candy cane is Jesus' body, and the red on it is his blood. And you know it's a cane because he's a shepherd. And then if you turn it around, it's the J for Jesus.
Oh God, fucking damn it!
We
can't call candy canes like this. I can't.
have no idea if this is like a thing or if this was just what my church said.
That sounds like some shit that somebody made up. But I believe that that's not just like your church. That's like just like Jesus people being fucking weird.
I didn't even think we went to like a weird place. But like when I think about that, I'm just like, what? What? Unless this is actual candy cane lore, it's very strange.
I sincerely doubt it. You're gonna tell children that the candy cane is body and blood? It's not. That's not communion.
No, it's not communion. It's just it's more representation.
I know it's a representation. That's still stupid. I'm mad, actually.
Although in fact I was raised Catholic, angry. So like it is actually his stuff. It's not a representation.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah. I hate religion.
I get it. I can vibe with it, with the aesthetic. I just wish that they would stay out of politics.
Yeah, that's why I hate the organized part of religion. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? If we could all just believe what we wanted.
That was quite the digression. Let me tell you what happened.
Yeah, tell me what happened. Tell me all about our Christmas present.
Dad meets up with the museum curator and he takes them all to see a very special display because Dad is going to get to examine the Rosetta Stone. It's very exciting. And then the curator just like leaves, which seems weird, but he's like, yeah, you can examine this. I'm gonna be in my office. Make sure you behave yourself around one of the most famous, priceless, and historically relevant pieces in the world. And then we proceed to not do that. At Dad's request, Carter and Sadie padlock the curator in his office, which is a fine and normal thing to ask your children to do. And Dad starts casting a magic spell or some shit. Sadie can somehow read the magic hieroglyphs that Dad is writing on the Rosetta Stone, which is weird. Dad tries to summon Osiris, it sounds like, and apparently gets somebody else. Also, the Rosetta Stone explodes. The scary fiery guy who appears, he sends Dad to super hell, and then he comes after the children.
Sorry, you said super hell.
I'm glad that reference is good for you. He tries to lunge at Carter, but some sort of force stops him. He pieces out, and then the room explodes even more, and Carter passes out. They are now at the mercy of those mysterious two people from last chapter, who may or not be planning to kill them. Yay! Chapter end.
It's a lot. It's like so much.
It's a lot.
I feel like
Percy just killed his math teacher.
Yeah, this is more. We've like escalated far. You know what? I think this is just what Rick does, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I think he
Percy
just, like,
was also at a museum, but the museum was fine afterwards. Here, this is like in the Mona Lisa in Glass Onion, where you're like, they wouldn't, and then they do.
And then they destroy the Mona Lisa. You ever just like set the Mona Lisa on fire?
You ever just explode the Rosetta Stone?
Maybe it'll get better. Who knows? They have magic,
it's fine.
apparently. It's fine. Everything is fine.
Doesn't Carter say he, like, spits a piece of Rosetta Stone out of his mouth? And it's like, well...
Oops!
Remember how that guy told us to be careful with that?
Oh well, not our problem. So you know what? It's time to talk about some mythology because we got the name of a god in this chapter. What's up with that?
Sure did.
Yeah. So in case you missed it, we're gonna talk about Osiris.
That's sure a guy.
That is sure a guy. And so, like, in the chapter, Carter is literally like, whoa, sir, sir, or however it's, like, actually pronounced.
Right, there's a phonetic, like, Egyptian pronunciation.
Yeah, that's, like, actually how it is. I'm pretty sure Osiris is probably, like, the more Greek. Yeah, it says Osiris, Latin transliteration of ancient Greek. So... that's like a lot of how the Egyptian gods' names are, honestly. I mean, it does depend on, like, how old they are in the religion, but, like, a lot of them, we know more their Greek names than we do their actual Egyptian names. So, fun stuff for you. So Osiris is a god of fertility, agriculture, the afterlife, the dead, resurrection, life, and vegetation. He has green skin.
A lot of gods seem to be fertility and agriculture guys in Egyptian stuff, just from, like, some Wikipedia searching that I was doing, which kind of makes sense to me.
I mean, so, like, they live in the desert.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you kind of want your gods to, like, help you with your crops growth so that you're not, like, dying. I feel like, based on just where they live, it makes the most sense to me. So Osiris is green. He's pretty cool. He's also kind of a mummy. He's dead. Did you know that? He's dead.
Yeah. This is just like my Danny Phantoms.
Wait a second.
I think that he lives in the ghost zone.
We've crossed the streams. What if we found Osiris in that one coffin instead of the Ghost King guy?
Oh my god. Pariah Dark, get out of here.
Okay, yeah, so he's represented as, like, green skin. He's got the crook and the flail, which are, like, the symbols of the king. He's got the funky, I was gonna say beard, but it's a goatee that's, like, also, like, a symbol of, like, the king. And at least in the representations that I see, it's just the one version of the Egyptian crown, which I don't know, I always find that interesting. Where, so, like, there's two Egyptian crowns. There's the upper and the lower. I am going to get them mixed up. But there's the one that Osiris wears, which looks like a bowling pin. A white bowling pin on his head. And then there's the red one that kind of looks like a chair. And when they're combined, it's, like, the full, like, Egyptian, like, kingdom. It's when they're united.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah. So I think Horus has, like, both crowns. I want to know why... I'm interested to know why Osiris just has the one. I don't know if I'll find out right this second, but he just got the one crown.
Well, maybe it's because he's trapped in the underworld. Like,
perhaps.
Maybe the upper world is kind of representing the rest of the kingdom.
Yeah. So, okay, let's before we get into his whole story about why he died, so let's see. Oh yeah, we got his name in hieroglyphics, literally the same as what we got in the chapter. Love that. His parents are Geb. Hey, that's a familiar name. Haha. And Nut. Geb and Nut.
Love her.
And then there's another possible one, Ippy. I've not heard of her, but some accounts she is the mother of Osiris. From, at least it says in Thebes, I guess. He has 4 siblings: Isis, Set, Nephthys, and this Wikipedia has an interesting word there, but I'm just gonna say Horus. It's Horus. But sometimes...
Right, they used one of his other names.
Yeah, one of his... Like, there's many versions of Horus. We'll talk about him eventually. But Horus is also sometimes his son, so...
And Isis is also sometimes his consort, so...
Isis is always
really
his
depends.
consort, I think.
Oh.
Because it's...
Good.
because it's mythology. It doesn't matter, man. It's fine. It's all good.
Right.
Like,
just gotta be chill
about it.
They have no DNA.
So sometimes Anubis is his son. I buy that. They're both death gods. Makes sense. His symbols are the crook and the flail. This has the Atef crown. Upper Egypt. Okay. It's the white crown of Upper Egypt with ostrich feathers on it. So it's like, it's a very specific crown for Osiris and his cult. Ostrich feathers. Oh, so much ostriches. Interesting. Fish. mummy gauze, and the Djed, which is like a very specific symbol for Osiris. It's like a pillar. So Osiris, basically, he's set up to be the next king of all the gods after Ra. You know, everybody knows Ra. He's like this, he's the sun god guy, whatever. He was the king of the gods, and then Osiris was going to become the next king, for backstory reasons. Thank Isis for that. Wow, that's gonna be a great, so many great out of context quotes from this, just because. So his brother Set, very, jealous. Oh my goodness. It's, what are their fucking names? It's Scar and Mufasa.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
those are kind of the vibes.
Like, it's King Hamlet and fuck, what's his name? From Hamlet.
Oh, God, what is his name?
Like the actual villain of Hamlet. Why am I forgetting what his name?
Huh.
But you know what I mean. It's the vibe of like, you're gonna be king, and then your brother's like, fuck you, I want to be king. So what does he do?
And
He
also to
traps
marry
him.
your wife.
Yeah, also marry your wife, of course. What does he do? He like traps him in a sarcophagus, and then there's also versions where he cuts him into pieces after killing him.
Mm-hmm.
I think
as you do.
There's like a lot of different like things that Set does to Osiris here. Fun shit. And then Isis has to find all of the pieces and wrap up his body, which is where we get the mummy wrappings. You put him back together. She's taping him back together.
I see.
And then make him return to life. Except, you know what? He really couldn't. There's a thing that like, we're gonna learn a lot of this stuff in the book anyway, but there's one thing we're not gonna hear about in the book, and that's there's like one piece that was especially hidden.
Oh, the dick.
Yes, the dick. In fact,
where that dick at?
Did they ever find the dick? I know that's like a specific thing that like he hides that. Maybe that's why he can't come back to life. But yeah, it's fun. Oh yeah, except the phallus secretly buried it. Yeah, she did not find his dick. So that's why he's dead. And he can't fully come back to life. The most important part.
That's hilarious.
So I'm like, we gotta talk about that. That's important shit. Other important things. So he's got some like cool names here. He's like the Lord of Silence. All right. And then he's got another name. I'm gonna butcher all the Egyptian names too. It's gonna be great. Khenti Amentiu, meaning foremost of the Westerners, which I assume is like because hey, the land of the dead is in the West. Did you know that?
Right.
It's the same fucking thing as in Greek stuff because the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west.
Exactly. It all makes sense. It's all coming together, baby.
It's all coming together, bro. That's just how it be. But yeah, like, that's most of the important shit about him. He died. He still gets to be king, but now he's just king of, like, the dead, sadly.
I do find this story, like, really, really compelling. Of, like, he's dead, but he's... It is just like my Danny Phantoms. Like, compelling for, like, the same reason. Of, like, being dead, but not being gone, and being in, like, this weird state of being kind of trapped, but like still able to affect the world around you.
Is that why Danny's eyes are green? Like Osiris' skin? The ectoplasm is green because Osiris' skin is green?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think sometimes
We're
he's
getting
blue. I'm not sure. But like he's usually like a greenish, maybe bluish. He looks inhuman, and it's great.
That's what zombies be like.
Yeah, it's his green skin symbolizes rebirth, is what it says, and I'm like, it's a zombie thing. Osiris is the first zombie. Let's be real about it.
What I also like is comparing him to Persephone. I feel like they have kind of very similar, like, states of being like an underworld god who also has these effects on like blooming worlds because she's the spring person and he's like a fertility and harvest person. Yeah.
Is he a fertility god because his dick is gone? Like, does that mean, is that related? Listen, I'm stuck on it.
His dick's just out there.
It's fertilizing shit.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Without his consent. Oh my god. But there is like another interesting thing where I'm not gonna like look for it on here, but what I remember is that like, so Horus ends up representing like the kings and also Ra, I believe. Like the kings when they're on the throne, like the actual like Egyptian kings. Like they are what's the word I'm looking for? Like an incarnation of like the god on earth.
Yes, there is a word for that, and I can't think of it either.
I mean,
like,
I guess incarnation,
the divine right of kings that like comes from Horus. Yeah,
yeah, but it's not just like that they are chosen by that person. It's like they are that person on Earth, and when they die, they become Osiris.
Oh, fascinating.
Because like he's the Death King. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's fun shit. Anyway, that's Osiris. He's in a coffin. He's dead now.
Super cool.
Rip Osiris.
Rip.
You would have loved Danny Phantom.
He's dead, but he's fine.
He's dead, but he's fine. Okay, well, we are still on Carter.
Yes, my sweet boy.
Our son. So we're going to the museum. Sadie is making fun of him because he goes to museums a lot. And then, the curator is being a total fucking nerd. And Sadie's just like, I don't care about Imhotep or anything else.
Sadie, come on now.
I mean, like...
She really does not want to be here. So no, I guess it's fine.
She doesn't. It's fine. And then immediately we get the racism, white passingness,
right.
Like
just their family experience is a microaggression, which is that people don't understand that Sadie is this man's daughter.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would assume if mom was alive and, like, all of them were together, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's, like, the family, whatever. But, like, because you don't see the other shade, you're just like, oh, that girl, she's white or whatever. Why are you here with this family? And It's like, they are related. They're in fact blood related.
Sometimes people look different.
Sometimes people can look
and that's allowed.
I don't know, but like, y'all, if you see me and my mother together, we do not look alike. We don't. I think it's funny when people are just like, you do look so much alike. And I'm like, you haven't seen my father.
Teddy and Andy, my besties, my roomies, you know, them, they experience the opposite microaggression, which is that people always ask them if they're twins. And they're like, what? They're dating. And people are like, are you twins? And they're like, why? What is making you ask that? Because Andy is brown. They are not the same race.
I was gonna say, I've seen this before. They are very much not the same.
They ain't white. Yeah. And so it's just like, because people don't ask that with our actual siblings. So what is the impetus that is making people like want to come up and ask that? But anyways,
I feel like that's also just such a thing with gay couples too. It's like, I mean, it's a microaggression, but it's also just like, just because they're like next to each other and like very close together does not mean that they're like siblings. Have you seen them kiss on the mouth? I don't think those are siblings. I mean, maybe that's how like Osiris and Isis are.
I don't know if this situation is comparable to that one.
It just made me think of that, though. You ever just kiss your siblings on the mouth? Osiris is just like, all the time.
God.
Same with all of the Greek people. Yeah, so he's just like, what? She's related to you? Yeah, okay, moving on. And then, so, like, the security guards take all of their, like, their bags and stuff. I don't know why they brought their luggage and, yeah, that's true. They took, a cab. So I guess they had to bring all their luggage with them.
They have not been anywhere yet to drop that off. Because, you know, they aren't leaving it at Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Nope. But Dad keeps the work bag, as he always does.
Of course. He's really fucking suspicious about it, too. Like, my man is not beating the weird-ass allegations. Like, he is so unnormal today.
Everything about this, bruh, like, you need to be so much more chill. He's just like, the stone? I want to see the stone. Hello?
Mhm.
And so they see it. It's a stone. What magical fun stone is this? It's
Obviously it's the computer program, as Sadie says.
the Rosetta Stone. You know, the computer program.
Yeah, you know.
No, it's actually the, like, precious artifact that really doesn't say anything important. But, like, you know what? You know what? It helped people crack the code on learning how to read hieroglyphics because it had hieroglyphics, hybrid Greek and Egyptian writing, which is called Demotic. I don't know if I'm reading that right. And then actual just ancient Greek. So they're trying to explain to Sadie what the fuck this stone is, why it's important. Sadie's like, whatever, yeah. And then Dad's like, wait, Sadie, you must learn. And she's like, so what's it say? Nothing. Doesn't matter. Don't care. It's just like a letter. Thank you letter. I love that we have this thank you note, like, on a stone, and it's, like, super important. Wonderful.
Are you familiar with the ancient copper salesman? I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's like a Nasir or something. But, yeah, he sold copper and everybody hated his copper so bad. And, they sent him tablets complaining about how bad his copper was. And he kept them all. Like, hundreds of them, like, in a warehouse. Like, you are not supposed to keep those. Those are, like, single use. And yet, everybody knows about him in the modern times. And how shitty his copper was.
Amazing.
Because of his hard preservation work. Like, why did he keep those? All his hate mail? Anyways.
It kept him going strong, okay? So wait. He is actually a Dr. Kane. I've learned this. So we have Dr. Chase and Dr. Kane, the Dilfs. Oh man, crack ship. Anyway.
Gotta.
You're welcome. I've done this. Okay, so the man leaves, the curator leaves. He's gonna go get, like, some documents that Dr. Kane asked for. And he's like, be
asked
careful.
for deviously.
Yeah. He's like, I trust you'll be careful. He glances at Carter
Like,
and
side-eyeing
Sadie.
the kids.
Like, of course, the fucking children.
And yet.
Yeah, and yet it's not them that are the problem, actually.
No. This man, he needs to be stopped, actually.
Yep. So, curator's gone. Dad's like, you have to leave the room. You have to just get the fuck out. Lock this guy in his office with this, like, literal bike chain and padlock. And Sadie's like,
oh, hell yeah. Crimes? I love crimes.
Sadie loves crimes. She is a chaotic neutral.
Sadie says be gay to crimes.
Carter is a lawful good.
Yeah. This is so true.
Eventually we'll find out what their D&D classes are, but I feel like that's gonna be a whole argument someday. It'll be great.
We're gonna have to get further in the book too, because I don't remember them well enough. Like, we're starting to get, like, some understanding of some abilities, perhaps.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I have ideas on how the magic works in this world, and I'm like, it could be that, or it could be that, or it could be that. I'm not sure. Okay, but I need you and your D&D expertise to work with me. Because you know your shit.
I'm not an expert on anything, I just have a lot of ideas.
You have a lot of feelings.
I do. It's so true. That's why I make podcasts.
Yeah! We love that. Alright, so, yeah, Dad is being very cryptic and weird. Can't explain things, but, like, looks at Sadie's like, I love you. I'm sorry. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. And yeah, Sadie is trying to be like, what's up with him? Do you know anything, Carter? Huh? We locked up this man, so... And what's he doing? Like, why is he being like this? Carter's like, I don't know.
And Carter is just standing there like, I have never asked a question in my entire life.
I don't ask questions, because if I ask questions, I get nothing! This is my trauma, Sadie, don't you understand?
Sadie, we don't want the answers, actually.
But Carter's ideas are like, I don't know, he's been thinking about Mom a lot. Does that have anything to do with this? Don't know. What's in the work bag? I don't know. I didn't look. Carter...
And Sadie
She's so disgusted by this. She's like, are you serious? You're not even gonna go spy on him, are you? He's like, no, I wasn't gonna. And she's like, obviously we're spying on him.
You know what? Where's the alternate universe book where, like, they actually listened to Dad? And they didn't. They went with Carter's idea instead of Sadie's. Nothing fun would happen ever. They'd just be like, wow, what happened to Dad? He's gone.
I don't know. It feels like maybe the museum still would have exploded, which probably would have gotten them wrapped up in things.
True. Okay, so Dad is drawing some blue stuff on the ground.
It feels like he should not be doing that.
Yeah, probably not.
So Carter does describe the thing he is holding as like a boomerang, but you know, those are Australian. And that is not where we are.
Are they? Are you sure? Okay, are Australians, were they invented by, are Australians invented by Australians? Were boomerangs invented by Australians? Is this
yeah, actual
true?
boomerangs are like an Aboriginal Australian, like, weapon.
Let's see. Although considered an Australian icon, ancient boomerangs have also been discovered in Africa, the Americas, and Eurasia.
Okay.
Ha!
Okay. So
So
you really schooled me on that one.
I was just like, I mean, they could be, but also, like, this thing, although not actually a boomerang, has a similar vibe, some similar things. So,
And it's not like people from different areas couldn't figure out the same shape of item that you throw it and it come back.
I mean, like, people invented the wheel, they invented fire, they all thought of a flood myth, and they were from different places.
Right. These things just happen sometimes.
Sometimes everybody invents the boomerang, and the Australians take credit
Sometimes
for it.
the boomerang is part of human nature, perhaps.
Boomerang with the friends we met along the way. Okay, so Dad is writing on the stone.
Seems fucked up. I don't think you're supposed to do that.
It's fine. It's glowing, it's blue, and we get the hieroglyphics on it. And it means open, according to Sadie, who
should not know that, because we've already established she doesn't give a shit about any of this Egyptian stuff.
she doesn't give a shit. Carter doesn't even know this, and he's, like, tried to learn some. And then we get some more hieroglyphics, one of which Carter recognizes as the god Osiris's name.
And
Osiris come.
The other one is come. Open, Osiris come.
I don't think Osiris can come. He's missing a part.
Yeah. My man been eunuched.
Poor guy. Now he's just green.
Yeah. So, okay. So, maybe it would have turned out if they weren't there. Because Sadie shouts, Dad, no. And he turns around, and that's when the thing explodes. So maybe it would have been fine, actually, if they had just listened to Dad.
But Dad also got
We'll find out more. We'll be able to make a better ruling on this later when we know what he was trying to do.
I was gonna say, Dad also got more than he bargained for.
He just says, how many did I release? And the man says, why all 5? You should know we're a package deal, Julius. Which is Dad's name, that we've not used once our entire podcast.
No, I think I called him that once. I think I did. It might have happened.
He's just Dad.
So yeah, Rosetta Stone, smoking, like, broken, terrible, awful. Dad's not looking super great. Sadie and Carter are kind of, like, worse for wear as well. And then we have this creepy man. He was, like, fiery?
Carter can't even see him at first. He says that it's like a heat vision.
Yeah, he's just a fiery outline of a man. And Dad is, like, mad that he was summoned. And this man is apparently never summoned. So that tells you something. But when you open a door, you must be prepared for guests to walk through. And then, hey, look, we hear that word that we had to learn how to pronounce for the credits of the podcast.
the duat.
Back to the duat.
Duat. Yes.
I have the power.
I'm already getting it wrong. Yeah, and he's like, that's not gonna work, idiot.
Yeah. Okay, so Dad is being, like, very careful to keep this fiery man's back to the kids, like, so they can get the fuck out of there, and, like,
he's
not
trying so hard.
Maybe get killed? Unknown. Okay, so we have a magical staff, perhaps?
Oh, yes. He does the serpent trick. We love the serpent trick.
I love that. What's that from?
The Bible.
Okay, I was like, that's gotta be, that's gotta be, like, is it fucking Moses that does this? Or
yes. The Egyptian priests turn their staves into snakes, and then he's like, what if my snake was bigger and better than yours? Or maybe it's the other way around, but anyways, his snake eats their snakes.
We love that. We love that.
Oh, also, that scene is in The Prince of Egypt, the DreamWorks film. So
another
you
thing
might be thinking of that too.
I have not seen that in like
Oh.
20 years. Like it's been
Well.
a long fucking time. I have like fever dream memories of watching it where I'm like, I definitely can recall moments, but like no idea everything that goes on. But we're gonna have to watch it. Listen,
Yeah,
our bonus show is fully packed because I feel like the Egyptian stuff just like pops off. There's not as much Egyptian content as there is Greek content, but the Egyptian content is like peak, if you know what I mean.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, listen, we got all of Moon Knight, we got the Phineas and Ferb episode, the Danny Phantom episode, possibly Black Panther. You know, we got some good shit going on there.
What's the fucking, like, Disney Channel shit or whatever? Wasn't there, like, some Canadian show that was, like, House of Anubis or something?
Listen, I've been wanting to figure out how to cover House of Anubis on here, but it's like incredibly long and also incredibly hard to do like an episode of that because like it's always going to be cliffhangers. Like every single they're technically like 10-minute episodes and they all have like cliffhangers, like wild ones. So it's really hard to do like even like, oh, let's cover an episode of that. And then there's like a lot of context you need if it's a random episode in the middle. And if it's the beginning, you're going to be like, how is this related to Egyptian stuff?
Fascinating.
Like you're going to be like, okay, the school is named or the house that they live in is named Anubis. What is going on? Why does that matter? It's a while before it gets into the actual stuff. Yeah, House of Anubis is just great. Okay. Leave me alone. I have feelings.
I've never watched it, so
I bought all of it on iTunes. Because I'm that kind of nerd. Okay. Let's I don't even know where the fuck we are. I'm gonna nerd out about other
zero
stuff.
in.
Okay. So we did the snake thing. He's like an old trick, haha. And this is where we learned that all 5 were released. This fiery guy wants to be named King. Very important.
And Dad says,
The
demon days. That's what he's trying to bring about or something.
Yeah, something. They'll stop you before it's too late. It's hard not to just like immediately quote this because it's like, what is happening?
Right, because we can't really talk around it without talking about like the exact wording because there's really no context yet.
Yeah.
We don't know what they're on about. So Fire Guy says, you think the house with a capital H can stop me? But they're like too busy arguing among themselves. Now let this story be told anew.
So the fiery guy is like, goodbye Osiris. Not even calling him Julius Cain. And he makes a glowing coffin around Dr. Kane. So it's transparent and then it becomes more and more like physical, and just before it like fully becomes like real and like it sinks into the ground, Dad's like, run. So Carter
they
screams.
fail to run.
Sadie
Carter
throws.
says Dad and Sadie throws a rock.
This is like
Sadie is so ready for violence.
I was gonna say, this is just like very peak, like, you know, there's like that trick of like how you make people talk or whatever in a book. You need to like be able to differentiate like how they talk and how they act, and it's like Carter and Sadie are like so like different that it's like very like I don't know where I'm getting at.
She even has certain like Britishisms, you know. She said brilliant earlier, like some fucking Harry Potter character.
I mean, they are British, but like, yeah, I don't know. They already have like such distinct voices. Yeah, it's very good. And so we see the fiery man's face, and it's like, he has 2 faces. He's got a pale, cruel, glowing-eyed face, and then he's got a creepy animal face with sharp fangs. But we don't know what kind of animal. It's just a terrifying animal. Fun. So, there's maybe security guards. He is his persona. Listen. The Egyptians are the original furries.
Everybody's got a persona.
Furries have been around since ancient times, people.
And cat people.
Specifically the cat people. Although not as many cat boys. It's mostly cat girls, you know? It's a lot of cat girls.
But all the boys still love cats, so...
Yes. I mean, the boys gotta love cats because, like, all the girls are cats, so... Okay, so...
Sorry. He was a boy, she was a cat.
Can I make it any more obvious?
Okay, continuing.
Oh my god. So, security guards, maybe police are coming, and then Fiery Man tries to get Carter, but the amulet on his neck gets really hot, and it maybe blows this guy away? And the guy's just like, soon, and gets the fuck out. So everything is in flames. They're dying, but they're fine. And then maybe there's these two people that are gonna kill them. Forked beard guy and girl in blue.
Yeah, them.
The guy is French. That's very important.
Yes, French guy, and the girl has a knife, and she is about to stab them to death, these unconscious children.
She wants to stab them, and French dude is like, we must be sure before we destroy them.
Yeah, great. End of chapter.
Isn't it so fun how, like, intense this shit is?
It's delightful.
Oh, and you know what? It's never gonna stop. This is just the world we live in now. Egyptian shit forever, because this book has so many fucking chapters. Do you have any other thoughts, feelings to go on here?
I'm just excited to get further into it, to be reminded of the things that occur in this book.
Good shit. Yeah, I'm excited to continue fucking with our audience. Maybe I'm telling you what's gonna happen, maybe I'm not. Who knows? Maybe aliens are gonna come and show up. I don't know. Did they build the pyramids? Right?
No. Ancient aliens is some racist ass shit, and everybody jot that down. We are not down with what's-his-face and his alien theories.
That's why I'm just like, I want to fuck with you people and be like, ha, you thought. No, it's not gonna happen. But maybe magic? No? I don't know. He drew blue hieroglyphics that were glowing. There was a boomerang and a staff.
Egyptian magic
is weird.
Pretty cool.
Is cool. Plugs? Pluggity plug plugs?
Oh, right.
Media?
I forget if I've ever talked about his work before. I probably have, but I wanted to say Worthikids on YouTube. If you are on the internet a lot, you have probably seen his work before. Also, if you watch Adult Swim, Worthikids makes very, very funny, like, short videos. There's one about various horror villains going to a convenience store, and it's incredibly charming. There's one called Palpatine's Journey, about Palpatine in the last Star Wars movie.
All right.
Which is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Are you not familiar with this? Worthikids also makes the series Big Top Burger, which is about some clowns in a food truck, and it is so incredibly delightful. So yeah, if you've never checked his stuff out, you gots to get over there and do that, because it's so good. I really, really recommend Palpatine's Journey. It's so fucking funny.
All right. My plug is going to be a podcast. I found an Ace Attorney podcast.
Oh, good.
This one's called Turnabout Breakdown. They're going through case by case ish.
Very good.
Sometimes there's bleed through. One of them has played all the games. One of them has not.
Yay!
Very, very cute. Very fun. Yeah. Listen. Ace Attorney. We made an Ace Attorney reference to start off the podcast. Listen, almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Anyway. It's not yet Christmas in the King Chronicles world yet. When will we get to Christmas? Someday. And then how long will we be celebrating Christmas for on the podcast? A while. Who's to say?
Christmas in July.
Not even. This is August, babe. This is coming out in August.
We're recording in July, so it's still a relevant reference.
But also, it's still not Christmas, so it's not even Christmas in July.
God damn it. Okay, we gotta move on. Release us from this mortal coil, just like Osiris.
Rip to Osiris, you would have loved Of the Oldest Gods.
Rip to Osiris, you would have loved Danny Phantom.
I feel like we need to just like I'm just gonna post that in the Discord. No context, spoilers.
Good.
We need to do that more often.
If you want to see our no context shit from the stupid podcast recordings, you could join our Patreon.
You'll see the spoilers that we post like a month before we release an episode.
Join our Discord. Okay, get us the fuck out of here.
Sorry, I'm typing. Give me a second. God damn it. Yeah, get out of my fucking house. Actually, like, we're gonna explode a museum and like a stone that's like really historical and important, but like it's fine. It's fine. I have magic. Maybe I can make it get better. Or like maybe I don't fucking care. Whatever. Anarchy.
Yeah.
Of the Eldest Gods would like to thank its $10 and up patrons. This means you're either in the Savior of Olympus tier or the God Complex tier on our Patreon, patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. Thank you all so much for your support, especially Matt, our God Complex patron.
You can follow this podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send us a message through the Duat to oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about the Riordanverse or whatever else. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology, no promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. If you want to hear more from me, Raye, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast's Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. You can also hear my voice on 2 other podcasts. I co-host another podcast on the network with the meme maker Robert called The Bits, where we talk about the Cartoon Network show Steven Universe. I also co-host a non-network podcast with my buddy Ethan called Mysteries in the Machine, where we talk about all things Scooby-Doo. Our music was created and produced by Isabel Strauss-Riggs. You can find Isabel at Kane I, that's I is in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel, Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now we are discussing The Kane Chronicles. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
Coffee, tea, honor, cabbage. Long ago, the 4 elements lived in harmony. Then, shit went totally cray when the Avatar attacked. Only the Cabbage Man, merchant of fine cruciferous vegetables, could stand against his trolling. But when the world needed some dank veg, he vanished. 10 years have passed, and my partner and I have started a new podcast.
My Cabbages! An Avatar podcast.
A weekly show about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Whether it's Sokka's new line of cologne...
Hey, look at you, sitting there on a seal. Well, now look back at me. I'm on a even bigger seal. Now look away.
D&D related antics.
You have to make an acrobatics check for that, and Aang just like unzips his pants and whips out his d20s. He's just like, I got this.
Or randomly breaking into song.
Go bending waterfall.
We'll stumble our way through the greatest show ever made, one episode at a time.
You can reach us at CabbageCast, which is our Twitter, or
subscribe wherever you catch pod.
Rotten cabbages? What kind of slum do you think this is?
Sadie Kane probably loves, like, Brit rock, like...
Oh my god, wait! Sadie Kane and Spidey Punk. Like,
oh my god!
Spider Punk and Sadie, listen, they're besties in my universe, okay? That's all that matters to me.
I'm trying to decide if Sadie would really like Blur, or if that's like too dad rock. Like, if I was like, oh, Sadie, you're punk, do you like Blur? Would she be like, you're old?
Okay, but timeline-wise, when does this take place? What, 2010?
After Blur.
It's 2010, right? I don't know. We need to get the fuck out of here.
What's-his-face was alreedy busy being in the Gorillas by that point.
Get out of my house! Why are you still here?
I'm gone, bye!
Bye.
Dave X Media.